All right, this week's study in Transformation in Christ is Holy Mercy. And where, as we discussed in a previous chapter, where humility is the prime virtue of human beings and can only be applied to God by analogy, mercy, in contrast, is a divine virtue and can only be attributed to us by analogy. And this concept to the Gentiles would have involved an inherent contradiction. People bow down to serve gods, not the other way around. The Pharisees as well, because they would see justice being mediated by the law, mercy would be foreign to them as well. But mercy ultimately relates to the sinful condition of humanity and our need for forgiveness. Von Hildebrandt wants to highlight the difference between mercy and compassion, so he gives us 5 differences. Compassion looks at a particular suffering that a person is going through. Mercy looks more at our human condition as a whole. Compassion suffers with the other. Mercy does not. It is always help from above. Compassion is between equals. Mercy is not. You cannot show mercy to those who are your superiors. Mercy is love that reaches down. Compassion feels with the other and can relate to their weakness. Mercy sees the other as God sees them, pitiable, and in need of mercy. Compassion feels with and can relate to their weakness. Mercy sees the other as God sees them. I think I just repeated myself. Pitiable and in need of mercy. Compassion does not assume an ability to help, whereas mercy does. The person who can show mercy is, as several examples, the healthy helping the sick, or a person who can forgive a debt owed. Mercy is also the antithesis to strict justice. In God, however, there is a commingling of justice with mercy, and mercy really supersedes justice. We can show mercy to those on whom we have no obligation. As a perfect example of that is Jesus' story of the Good Samaritan. We can also show mercy to those who are obligated to us. We can show mercy in a debt of money or of service. We cannot cancel a debt owed to another. Nor is it always merciful to forgive a debt, especially when doing so hurts the other person in their moral development. So just because we can and have the ability to show mercy, we also need to determine whether it's appropriate or not. Hard-heartedness is the furthest from mercy, and it is a complete lack of care for others' misery, and also void of any kind of compassion. Indifference is a lesser evil, but still lacks mercy due to an overemphasis of our own interests. We don't show mercy because we do not observe and care about the conditions that others are in. There's also another type of person who actually enjoys having others in their debt. They may not even care about the debt per se, but they take pleasure in being able to have others subordinate to them. In contrast to this, mercy seeks the opposite, to intentionally not make others feel obligated or inferior to us. This is true whether they owe us something or if they have a physical, mental, or social handicap. That is, we are to be generous to others. The only exception is in the area of our spiritual lives, where lowering ourselves to the level of the unredeemed would hurt their growth in God. We cannot deny our salvation elevates us by grace above others without Christ. There are 2 other ways that we can outwardly appear to show mercy but actually fall short. The one is when we are legally responsible for someone, such as a ward, and fulfill all requirements for their welfare and nothing more. it is only to fulfill our responsibility rather than out of love that reaches down to help the unfortunate. Similarly, we can act like a Pharisee and perform mercy to the extent we feel obliged to and no more. Again, this makes the focus on us rather than the other person. True mercy, therefore, requires an awareness of being surrounded ourselves by mercy. It means being aware of our blessings in Christ, the merciful one. That's the content for this week's Bible study. God bless.